All right, guys, so the market is absolute carnage. I mean, if you look at this, HYPE down 10%, Bonk down 7, Arbitrum 7.5, Ester down 13, all this within a day. And I would say that, oh, what a surprise, but I'm not going to say that because I warned you. I'm literally putting every single day the effort in on X, in the community, on here, warning you that this is going to happen. And someone said, 𝗓𝗓, you are, from the YouTube comments, someone said, this is on the 12th of December, by the way, 3 days or 5 days ago. 𝗓𝗓, you're on a 2 months winning streak. Show us you're a human and be wrong for once. And I'm not being a dickhead. I'm not being like, you know, fleshy and whatnot. I'm just telling you that I say local top is in or very close. We shall see. Then I even posted back in October, I said every single pump is here to liquidate. And people still believe that they're buying the dip, and then they're buying the dip of the dip, and then they're buying the dip of the dip of the dip. And the dip is keep dipping. And you think that you're catching the bottom, but you're just being a retard because you think that you can catch a bottom in the bear market, and it doesn't make any freaking sense. There was 400 million liquidations within 4 hours. This was last evening, over 12 hours ago. So this is probably all the way up to 700 billion at this stage. And I posted this a little bit irritated. Should I stop posting it? And the reason why, because I hate seeing people lose money. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗓𝗓. I've been here since 2016. I'm doing these updates every single day, 5 to 10 minutes. If you don't have 5 to 10 minutes to be profitable in trading, please just leave now. If you do, come back every single day. This is how I design these shows. They are 5 to 10 minutes, and I help you navigate the market. Been trading since 2018, been doing this for a long time, been through the whole thing, and you might be able to get better entries by simply following through. I also have a community where I don't only post what is happening throughout the day, but also post alpha. Like, for example, I posted this trade last week, Thursday. It is up 44%. You could have simply just, with a click of a button, copied it as well. Very important. Please join in the community. Subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notifications on, and follow me on X. Okay, links in the description. Very important, nothing is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are risky. Investing and trading cryptos are risky. This is for entertainment purposes only. You always do your own research. Let's jump in here. Very important. If you look at the market, there is so I've been calling for this jump to happen, right? So saying that every single pump is there to run into a rejection. That is what we've seen here. And I said, if I see, this is what basically I drafted here on the show, I think it was Thursday. And I said, if we see a push into the 3.16 trillion up here, I am going to take a short. But the problem is that there was liquidity buildup, but there was no AMD, there was no accumulation, manipulation, distribution. I couldn't really take a safe entry. And I do not want to trade a short if I don't have a safe entry, confirmed entry. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. So if I look here, then on Friday, I left on the Friday show, I said, this is the market structure shift here. We are going to see a push. If we have a close above, that is going to be a great long. Otherwise, it is just a rejection. That is what's happening. We didn't have a close above, it's just a rejection. I'm telling you the exact same thing now. If we come up to this order block around 3 trillion mark, and we see a market structure shift, and we can close above the 3.04, which is the current high, we are going to reject, or the market is going to reject. It's the same method. You follow market structure. But there is one very important thing here that I think is worth noting, okay? And that is that we are down, the market is down at a 4-hour strong order block. What do I mean by that? If you look at the daily chart, right? And this is something also, if you come back daily, you are keeping track of what I'm saying and you're able to follow through my thought process as a professional trader. If you look here, I said that markets have to retrace. Usually, always, it just depends on when.Maybe it takes a year or 2 years, but markets always retrace 50%. And if you look here, the 50% on the daily, this is the daily high here, would be up here at 3.22 trillion. Now again, I could actually take this as a daily high and the retrace happened and we're just going lower. This is why it's not worth trying to time the bottom. But ultimately, I do believe that this is the actual high, and I do believe that we should see a retrace to the 3.23 trillion, okay? Now, the invalidation for the reason is market reaches 50%. This level here, 3.12, is the actual 50%. I would imagine something like this happening. Okay, liquidity is building up already. It's lined up to a beautiful rally. This is what I would think happens. This is the most likely in my. I don't know if there is most likely. The market is very difficult to read. We have to take it step by step, day by day. But this is what I want to see. What can also happen is there's a small retrace and then we just continue lower. We'll see how that goes. I'll give you all scenarios. But the important part now is that we're down at a 4-hour order block, a very strong order block demand zone. Why is this relevant? It is relevant because if you look at the market structure, for a reversal, you need to see something called a 4-pointer structure. You have a bottom, you have a high, you have another bottom, you have another high on the 4-hour chart, right? So that basically shows you that this internal structure, it is still, by the way, is still below the 4-hour main structure. But on the internal structure, this does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4-pointer structure. And then just a simple stairs down to this demand zone down here. So the 4-hour leg, the 4-hour range is this. And I always say you have to be on the elevator and not the stairs. And this is the staircase. The reason is because there was no close above here, okay? So someone is saying, oh, but there is a new high here. No, because there is no close above there. There's a tiny, 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 tiny close, which I don't consider. So this here, there is no major close above there. And that means that this is still the range. And this means that this is an elevator up and stairs down. And this means that if I say, okay, on the daily, we should come back to the 3.22, and on the 4-hour, we're sitting at a major 4-hour demand, what do I need to see to action this? Couple of things. One, if I see a market structure shift here, meaning, let me just delete this. Also, guys, smash the like until I delete this. What I need to see is I need to see a market structure shift here. The bottom of this 4-pointer structure is here at 8.30, 2.83, this here. If this level gets broken, and close below on the 4-hour, that means it's invalidation. We're going much lower, which I think is going to happen eventually. The question is, are we going now, or we still have time to go, okay? So, but what I rather want to see, and I think this is what is going to happen, is there is two relative equal lows here, which is liquidity, which is perfect for London to liquidate and immediately show a reversal. If this happens, I am going all in on leverage. So not spot. I'm not going to deploy back because this is just going to be retrace. It's a short, it's a scalp trade or intraday, or we'll see if it turns into like a week-long trade. But this is the pattern that I want to see. This would be a market structure shift. Close below this level on the 15-minute chart, close above the high that closed a new low. That is going to be my trigger, and I am going to take a long position targeting this up here. I mean, this is a decent 10% move, probably like 20, 30% of most, 15, 20% of most of the tokens. So this can also happen like this, by the way. Okay? So this doesn't have to be coming from here. It's just the market structure shift after some kind of liquidation, right? Right now, the market structure shift would be up here, so it doesn't make any sense. So I need to see a little bit of a liquidation down here, and then at least on the 5-minute chart, okay? So this is what I'm gonna take. If there is no liquidation, there is no market structure shift, I'm just gonna sit on my hand. I actually left a note in the community yesterday, and I said, like, it's worth listening if you join in. But I said, like, it doesn't make any sense to trade. The biggest thing I had to learn in trading was patience. And now you want to trade and you want to catch the bottom and you want to fuck that, bro. You're going to lose a lot of money just by trying to do that. Don't do that. Why not just sit out? There will be so many opportunities to make money, and I know you're urgent, to make money, but it doesn't matter because you're going to lose. This is why most of the traders actually lose, okay? So anyway, this is it. And if there is no market structure shift, which is coming down like this and close below on the 4-hour, I think it's GG. We're going much lower. I'm not going to short. I always want to short the retrace. So you never short into your red because I think it's just not a smart idea. So if we retrace here without having a proper market structure shift, meaning, for example, this just starts retracing into this, I'm going to look for a market structure shift up here and take a short. Again, I want to take a confirmed short. I don't want to take a short that is not confirmed because I do think the market needs to retrace on the daily. Therefore, I don't want to piss against the wind. But this is the general sentiment. TLDR, and I have one more thing that I want to talk about, the Japan rate cut, which I'm going to talk about in a second. TLDR. I do believe we need to have a market structure shift here within this 4-hour demand zone. If we have, I am going to take a long position targeting the daily equilibrium up here at 3.22 trillion. If that happens, I will obviously let you know in the community and here. If there is no liquidation below and market structure shift, I am just simply, and the retrace, I am going to look for a market structure shift in this higher time frame order block up here, the hour and a 4-hour. And if there is a market structure shift on the 5-minute or 15-minute, I'm going to take a position and short it lower. Otherwise, I'm just sitting on my hand and chilling. Very important thing regarding the bots. So a lot of people ask me about. So obviously the power move. This is just getting started, by the way. It's still in the community. You can just simply look up here and then copy the bot if you want. You can just click here and then you just copy it. But there are the bull market bots, and what am I doing? Am I getting out? No. The way these bots are designed is that they can weather a 50-60% drawdown. Okay, normally. So even though that this bot is down 70% on Esther, I don't care because I know this is a 2026 bull market bot, and I'm not concerned. I put 5 to 10% of my capital spot that I sold on October 17th my bet would be down 50-60% on spots. This means that 10% of my capital is down 70, and whatever percent of that is in this trade is down 70%. And it's fine because these bots accumulate. I'm not trying to catch a move now. I'm trying to catch a move in 2026, which I think is happening. So some of the bots are up, like Solana is about break even, ETH is about 22% up, and then I have Hype and Tau is almost break even, but Hype and 𝗏𝗏 is down, and then Arrow is down as well, but then you have Bitcoin up, and then you have Power up. So it's a mix, but I'm just wanted to let you know, nothing changed. If you don't know this, I'm going to put this up here and then the end screen. You might want to check that out. But this is a strategy that I applied for 2026. And one more thing, there is happening the rate hike. Bank of Japan is going to hike rates. Now, as 𝗙𝗏𝗧𝗵𝗲 says here, it's very important to know that there was 20-30% drawdowns on Bitcoin every single time when that happened. Now, I really want to believe that that is not going to happen. I want to believe that we're not going to see a 30% drawdown on Bitcoin from here. At least not in a straight line. I mean, if we come up to the 100,000 and down to the 70, that's something I think can happen. But going from here to 30% would be 60,000. I do not think that's happening in a straight line. So I rather believe that we can have a retrace. And the same situation applies here, by the way, on Bitcoin. Like, we're down at the 4-hour order block. I do think that if anything, then we have to retrace to the 100,000 region. Everybody will be euphoric, and that's when they can flush us again. So be aware of that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications on, join in the community. There's a link in the description. Follow me at X and come back for another one tomorrow. It's gonna be a big one because we have to keep an eye. Again, very important. It's gonna be a big one tomorrow because you have to keep an eye whether that is going to play out, whether we're gonna pump and we have to look for shorts, whether we're gonna dump and we have to look for longs. I'm gonna update you here tomorrow and on Telegram. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.